Hello everyone and welcome to my review of the Icons of the Realms Orc Warband from WizKids. Now this is one of their D&D pre-painted miniature boxes. Unlike some of the other Icons of the Realms, it comes in this clear plastic box rather than sort of being blind boosters that you've seen me open on the channel. Now this sort of plastic packaging, once you've opened it, you throw it away. It's not really a way to store it. So let's crack it open and swirl the miniatures round. First up here we have the Orc Blade of Ilnevel. I will call it that. Basically it's an orc with this big chunky sword. It's got a spear on his back and a really sort of quite chromy sort of, well, not too chromed, but a nice steel dented shield. It really looks like it's about to take a swing, or maybe even about to receive a proper walloping blow, and that's what it's blocking with the shield. It's got some really nice details on this one from the colourful coloured armour. It's got a good sort of stance to it. Really do like this one. Now, like some of the other ones, it's got a bit of a backstory, but I think these are perfect for just being used all over the shop, and here is another one of them. This is the Orc War Chief. Now Orc War Chiefs do have, you know, extra strengths and abilities and stuff like that. It's got this lovely flowing cape on this miniature, and I think again it's just a brilliant way for having a cool looking, slightly different orc miniature. Now it's got sort of these teeth coming from its jaw. It's got that sort of one-handed sort of battle axe, and as I said, that flowing cape really gives it a dynamic pose. Again, I don't think that many people seeing this coming at them would really sort of maybe think, unless you're telling it as a story, maybe they won't think, oh, this is a war chief orc. You could use this just as another orc. Next up here we have the number 1 out of the 8 selection, and it's called Orc. Like the rest of these, it's not a hugely greenish hued orc. It's kind of more of the blue colour, and it is supposed to be basically just a standard orc. It's got sort of the nice greeny trousers with sort of the more leather armour, hide armour over the top. It's coming at people with sort of what is, well, it looks like some kind of stone axe, much more lower down than the War Chief. He doesn't have that nice sort of proper battle axe. He's had to make do with his orcish grunts. It's a nice miniature. Again, it can be used as any other orc. Next up we have the really blue Org. It does have more bluey skin than some of the rest of them, and it does have a bit of a sort of dynamic posed cape, wearing a lot of armour compared to some of the others. Now I'm assuming Org, O-R-O-G, has some kind of stat block, because not too many orcs come with what can only be described as some kind of steel plate mail-y sort of armour. It certainly looks like he's going to be taking a few blows, but again, I'm not ruling out using him as just throwing him as a standard orc. Next we have the most power stances by Orc Red Fang of Shargrass. Now this did come with its own special stat block. I'm pretty sure that's in Volo's guide, which fleshed out a few of the sort of more subclasses. Now coming with, well, it kind of looks very much like a piratey outfit, to be honest. He's got sort of like the sword that looks slightly like it could be used for swashbuckling. He's got sort of I don't know, it's just the outfit screams piratey orc to me. I think, well, he does have a bit more of a backstory, to be honest, but I don't know what it is. I just like it as a miniature. Next up we have what is probably my favourite of the set. This is the Orc Nurtured one of Yurtrus. Not quite sure on that last bit, but basically these are orcs that have got some kind of plague or poison. They are kept alive but not having that poison and stuff taken away from them. They are effectively like boomers of Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. You know, if this dies, it's going to explode in a shower of poison. It really does add that extra oomph to sort of an orc attack. You know, you could have a load of regular orcs and have this sort of in the middle, and it's going to just be that extra oddity, extra problem for the players. And this model is incredible. It really looks like green bubbled boiled skin down it. It looks absolutely phenomenal, and it's my favourite miniature of the set. Next we have the Orc Claw of Lustik. Now this is an interesting one because there's a very, very similar model miniature in one of the other recent-ish sets. I can't quite remember which set it was in, but they're not quite the same. I have the two of them, but they're next to each other. They're both Orc Claw of Lustiks. This one is just slightly darker grey. The pose is very similar, so if you think you've seen this before, like I did when I unboxed this, you know, you're not entirely mistaken. It's very subtly different. I wish they had done a slightly different coloured armour. It would have just helped really distinguish them, but it's unique in this set, so can't give it too many problems there. And last but not least, we have the Orc Eye of Gankish. Now this has an awesome backstory, this orc. So this is an orc that has slayed an elf. He's then given that slayed elf to Grumsh, and I'm going to mispronounce that name over and over again, has then basically traded one of its eyes for more power, so some cleric abilities and such. So this is a one-eyed orc that you really don't want coming at you. Moving past that kind of epic story, it's got kind of brownish skin, which is a little bit different for some of the orcs. It's got that wooden shield and kind of basic blunt sword, and a very sort of dynamic flowing cape which has like a nice chunky hole missing out of it. It's a really nice miniature, and again, you could use that just as almost like a random injured orc. Anyway, that is the set. I really like the Orc Warband sets. I think they're brilliant because they really sort of dive deep into one thing. So this is great for a DM to have because you want a load of orcs, you've got them. You can just throw them down pre-painted. But they do, at least most or some of them, have a little extra backstory if you want to use them that way. Anyway, that is the Orc Warband. Check out other news, reviews and stuff on the channel, and I'm Oliver East, signing out.